Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Realty Talk. And this evening, joining me today is Nicholas Phua, my colleague in legal and compliance.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the invite, Eugene.
So tonight we are going to look at a very hot off the press topic. HDB just launched this week. In fact, on Mother's Day, they made the announcement that they are launching the HDB Resale Flat Listing service.
That's right.
So tonight we are going to talk about this to our consumer clients, people who are selling their property, and the people who intend to buy their HDB flats. So what this real estate HDB resale portal means to them, right? Okay, so Nicholas, what is this resale listing portal all about?
Thank you. So this resale flat listing service that HDB is providing is actually an online portal. It's similar to what everyone has seen before. It's nothing different. It's just another portal. But what's special is that it's supposed to be transparent, reliable, and a trusted marketplace.
So how is this different from the existing property portals that we are also used to?
I think that leads us to why HDB created this resale listing service.
Okay.
And it was to create this transparent and reliable marketplace. I think this came from two reasons. The first reason was because there were too many duplicate or dummy listings.
All right.
So I think maybe for many of you at home as well, you would have come across maybe some situations where you were trying to look for a flat, but unfortunately were unable to find something, or you look at it and you go, hey, haven't I seen that before?
Yes.
It's a duplicate listing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and on the rare occasions, scammers have also used these online portals as well to perpetuate their scams. So that makes things a bit more dangerous for people looking for the properties.
Okay. What about sometimes it's a dummy listing, right? We call it. So the listing actually doesn't exist, but someone put it there to fish for customers.
That's right. And that was a big problem.
Yeah.
And even till today, unfortunately, it does happen from time to time.
Yes.
But I think with this is supposed to try and cut out that type of listings as well.
So it has led to a lot of frustration, especially amongst home buyers who are sourcing for their property. It becomes very tedious and very frustrating when they use some of the portals and they encounter these problems, right?
Yes, that's right.
What about another issue? I think I heard from some feedback that some of the information put by the advertiser on the property portals, they're also not accurate, right?
Yes, because I think currently how portals work is either the owner or the salesperson is supposed to fill in the details.
Yes.
And sometimes, whether or not intentional, it could be unintentional. The person who's typing in the details misses out a detail, or overemphasizes something that probably shouldn't have been overemphasized.
Or the owner could have remembered the wrong information and told the salesperson the wrong information. For example, the area. How big is your house?
Yes, that's
Can you
right.
remember? I actually
don't.
cannot remember, right? All right. So if I can't remember and try to recall from memory, I could be wrong, And that, if I put it in the advertisement, then it becomes an inaccurate, factual information.
That's right, and that's dangerous as well.
Correct. So what about for those of us who are selling? I think another issue that is encountered in the property portal is advertisement put there, but actually the owner not ready to sell yet, right?
That's
correct. Right. So just testing the market. So as what was I think reported in the newspaper before,
yes,
the owner has not done the intent to sell. So for HDB flat, if you want to sell your HDB flat, the owner, the seller, has to do what we call the intent to sell first before he can sell the property, right?
That's right. And on the flip side, I think buyers also have the same problem. Perhaps, sellers may also have the same problem.
When they encounter
you open
the buyer,
your house, you let the buyer in, you think, hey, I think I got a potential buyer, and then you realize buyer hasn't even gotten his HFE.
HFE is the HDB flat eligibility letter. Yes, it actually, for those of you who are going house hunting, intend to go house hunting, you actually need to obtain the HFE letter, which basically settles the financing part
That's
of it, right? So you have to know, based on your income, how much you can afford and how much loan is available to you. Are you eligible for any grants and all that kind of thing before you go house hunting? And you won't want to find a house then ready to buy, but you find that your finances are not in order, then the whole transaction jam up.
That's right.
Right. So the other rationale, I think HDB is the public housing authority. Besides catering for resale flat, they are also in the very big business of BTO, right? BTO. So especially first-time buyers, they want to compare, right?
Yep,
So I mean, very often we have very new buyers in the market. They ask, hey, should I buy BTO or should I buy resale? What does the numbers look like? Can I afford a resale instead of buying BTO? Because sometimes the BTO is not in the choice location that you want, whereas you can find resale flats in the choice location, right? That is nearer to perhaps the parents' house. So they want to compare their options. So this portal, this resale flats listing service actually is part of the HDB portal that allows the home buyer to compare between the BTO option and the resale.
Yes, that's right. So I think that's the first of its kind as well.
Yes, so I think that's the big picture intent of why the HDB push forth this resale listing service, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we are now in the soft launch phase. Okay, soft launch phase, so just now I went in to sort of look at the website. Okay, look at the portal. It's already live.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did a search. Ang Mo Kio 4-room flats. All right, how many listing is there? I think I found 2. Okay, so far two homeowners have put up their listing on this portal. Okay, but the buyer cannot access as in contact the homeowner yet because they have not opened up this portion of the portal. All right, so you can see but cannot touch yet. All right, so this is phase 1. When is phase 2?
Phase 2 is going to happen, or it's expected to happen sometime later this month.
Okay.
HDB has estimated that official launch should be sometime the later part of May, when prospective flat buyers as well as their agents can also use the portal to arrange for viewings.
Okay, so so those of you who are home owners and you are working with your property agent to sell the flat, can actually make use of this period of time to try out this portal. Without the purpose of having this soft launch, HDB has explained, is for the homeowners and their agents to try out this portal.
Yep.
Okay, to try out this portal, get into the flow of things so that you understand how the selling side of this portal, this listing service works before they open up at the end of the month, or so-called later part of May, to the buyer side. So right now, buyers can see, but they cannot do anything on this portal yet. So, right, so that's the timeline. Okay, so let's look at some of the key features, right, of this portal. So it is actually designed for everybody, right?
That's right.
So from the selling side, it's designed for both the seller as well as their appointed agents. So I think those of you who are existing home sellers, HDB flat sellers, and you have already registered your intent, I think this week you will have received an email from HDB to invite you to list your property onto this portal, right? So quite a number of my agents, all right, have feedback to me that their sellers have received this email, all right? So sellers and their appointed agents can put their listing on the portal. So sellers, For example, some sellers, they want to have a go at doing
Yep.
it themselves, right? We call it the DIY
That's right.
seller, want to do it themselves, right? So they try to put it. So far, I've seen 2 listings in Ang Mo Kio on 4-room flat that is put up by the seller, right? So the lister is the seller, not the seller's agent. So I believe they are trying it out, okay? It is also designed for buyers and their appointed agent. When this portal open up for the buyer, right, later part of this month, the buyers themselves who have done their HFE can make appointment.
That's right.
To view the property. So we'll explain the mechanics shortly. So the next item is it free?
Yes, it's free for now. So I
for
think
now.
HDB
The
has said
keyword
that
is for now.
they say that it's currently free.
Yes. The current property portals, the advertiser need to pay, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and it's quite expensive. So right now HDB is offering this because I think they just roll it out. They want to build up some momentum first.
That's right.
Right, and it's
to
free
build up
for
the
now.
database.
Yeah.
So that's always critical for any property
So
portal.
free, the big word free. Okay, so good time to try it out, right? Especially now during the soft launch. Next, is it compulsory?
No, it's not compulsory, and that's why I think it's. But like we said, there's really no harm in trying it out.
Yes. So a lot of sellers say, "Hey, funny, HDB sent me this email. Is it compulsory? Must I put there?" I mean, right now my agent is putting for me in all the property portals, right? So must I put it in HDB portal? Is it compulsory? Answer is no, it's not compulsory. But I would invite you and your agent to try it out. Put it on the portal, understand how it works, because this is an additional platform to create exposure for your property, okay? And it's free. Okay, so and what we talk about is actually an additional platform.
That's right.
Right? It's an additional platform to supplement the existing efforts, because there's no limitations. The agent can continue to use other platforms, right?
Yep.
Like the property platforms that they are advertising in already to create. So this one is another platform.
That's right, and I think it's another platform to help. As we all know, whenever you want to sell a property, you want to have as much presence as possible in the market, and this is another tool that agents, sellers, buyers can use as well.
Correct. Okay, so let's talk about some of the key features. All right. So in order for the seller to be able to, seller or the seller's agent to be able to put this listing on the HDB portal, all right, they need to have registered an intent to sell. Okay, this is actually the first step in your resale selling process. The seller has actually to register his intent to sell with HDB, all right? So without doing this, you cannot. Can you put on a portal?
No, you can't.
No, can't, right? Yeah. So you can't like just log in with your SingPass and try and put your listing, because it won't go anywhere because you have not done your intent to sell.
That's
so
right.
You need to do it first, right? Secondly, another important thing to know about how it can benefit the seller and the seller's appointed agent is that the prospective buyers who view the flats. So eventually, when HDB open up this portal to prospective buyers, okay, in order for prospective buyers to make appointment to view through this portal, they have to be qualified buyers. What do we mean by qualified buyers? That means they would have already obtained their HFE, HDB flat eligibility letter. All right? So HFE obtained. So that means they are qualified. They know they have done that. Obtaining a HFE letter is not easy. It's not just register on the site and then you get a letter. You have to submit documents for HDB to assess your financial viability before they give you this letter, and they will advise you what is the loan amount and the flat amount, right?
And it does take some time.
Yes,
it does take some time.
Yeah, correct.
And that's something which agents can help you with as well, because they're more familiar with the processes as well as what the forms you have to submit.
Yes. Yeah. But on the seller side, I'm assured that eventually, if a buyer or the buyer's agent does make an appointment through this portal, the buyer who is coming through is already qualified buyer. That means have already done his HFE, right? Okay, so the other thing that is important for this portal is that we don't have to remember the factual information about our property anymore, because once you have done your intent to sell and you list it there, the wonderful thing about HDB's back end is that they will populate all the what you call property details, all right, from their database.
That's right.
Right. So
they've automated the process.
So I don't have to remember my flat is what type of flat. Is it a standard flat or you know, whatever model A or whatever thing? Is it what is the square meter?
That's
right. All this is done on the back end.
You also don't have to worry about the fat fingers pressing the wrong number.
You also don't have to worry about typing wrongly, because sometimes it's fat finger syndrome, right? The very common question that the buyer will ask you, hey, this flat how old? How many years left in the lease? So all this you don't have to worry anymore, because HDB will automatically pump this in on the back end. We don't have to worry about this. So it works. Is a very wonderful tool on the back end, and it helps the seller as well as the seller's agent quite a lot. Okay. The other thing is that the buyer can, when you are setting your selling price, right? How do we set selling price?
So I think the sellers right now they will rely on, maybe they look at their neighbor's place, you know, they look on Property Guru, you check, hey, what are the other property prices around me? What are they going for? Don't have to worry about that, how to set the price anymore, because now HDB will actually provide the recent transacted prices of nearby flats.
Yes, so it's quite interactive. I think they have put it on a map.
Yep.
Right, you can actually look at it surrounding your flat. How the 200-meter radius, right? What are the flats around there? Or 1 kilometer, what are the flats around there? How much they were transacted for? So you can make an informed decision. I mean, you have all the information that you need to actually price your flat.
That's right.
According to the location, right? And also it is designed for, you can set viewing appointments. So gone are the days that we got to call up the agent or the seller, hey, when can view, where can view. You can preset your viewing dates, right?
That's right.
So you can actually plan the week ahead or the 2 weeks ahead and put in all your viewing slots, right? And so it's quite straightforward. So the would-be buyer, okay, when they log into the site to try to fix appointment, they can see all your appointment slots and when is the property available for viewing. So it saves the hassle of having to pick up so many calls. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So the other one is normally for HDB's flat, we call this extension of stay. That means HDB allows an extension of stay up to 3 months after completion of the transaction.
That's right.
So this is to allow for the flat seller to transit into his newly purchased property, right? So if he needs the 3 months extension, he can indicate on the listing itself. So when the buyer look at the listing, they'll know, oh, this flat, yes, it's in this location, it's in the block I want, but the owner, the seller requires extension of stay. So he has that information even prior to viewing the flat by looking at the listing.
Yes, that's right. And so it helps to manage expectations as well.
Yes. The other feature of this site is that the seller can indicate whether he is using contra in his next transaction.
That's right.
Okay. So if he is intending to use contra, what's contra? Contra is using the sales proceeds from the sale of the current flat to offset against the purchase of his next flat.
Yes, that's right.
So it's a back-to-back transaction. So in HDB terminology, we call it contra. So if he's not using contra, then the buyer who is intending to buy his flat can make use of this contra facility, because in this transaction, in a transaction, only one party can use a contra, not two parties, right? So if the seller is using contra, then the buyer who wants to buy his flat cannot use, right?
And he knows upfront now.
He knows upfront now, so don't need to ask so many things.
That's right.
So everything is It's quite clear cut in the listing. Okay, so actually now the portal is already live. Just now I went in to check. You can look, but there's not too many listings there because I think we are still in the initial first few
week.
days. Yeah, in the first week, not even in the first week, right? So I think there is a few listings there. They are trying it out, so you can see the information that you can actually look at on the HDB portal. All right, it's just, yeah, okay. So just try it out now. All right, you can see what is going on. Okay, so the other thing is this portal was set up to deal with the matter of duplicate listing, right?
That's right.
So you have a multiple listing on other portals that is concerning the same property, right?
Yes.
So this what's the difference with this portal?
A big difference is that in this portal, every seller can only post one listing.
Okay.
So you won't have the situation where you have 20 listings, but actually it's
same
all for the same property.
Yes. Okay. So one property, one listing. What if I have several agents who are selling for me?
So under the new system, under HDB's listing portal, there'll be a listing that's created, and then under that listing there'll be up to six agents.
Up to 6 agents. All right, up to 6 agents. But of course, we don't advise that.
That's
okay. Too many agents doesn't really work. Okay, so we'll talk about it later. Okay, so the listing will be there until the flat is sold. So means what? When the option is granted, okay, the buyer will then use the option to apply for valuation.
That's right.
To request for valuation. So once the buyer puts in a request for valuation, automatically the system will take down your listing. You don't have to take it down. The HDB will take it down for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
So buyers won't ever have a situation where you try to approach a seller for a flat and it goes, oh, actually, I've already sold it.
Option,
yeah, that's right.
So unlike the existing property portal is all manual. You have to put it up, you're taking down manually. Sometimes people forget. All right, I already granted the option already, but I haven't taken down the listing. So the buyer calls the listing and say, I want to fix appointment, but actually option already granted. All right, so it's creates more frustration. So this automated feature of the portal takes away that frustration. It automatically take it down.
Yes, that's right. But nevertheless, the listing will still be available on the seller system.
Yes.
So it's not deleted yet.
Yes, it's not deleted.
Because
it's just taken off
offline. That's right.
Offline. Yeah.
Because there may be situations where the deal isn't completed, and then so whatever effort you've put into crafting your description for your flat, you can still use it. Okay. If the sale doesn't go through, you can relist the property again.
Okay. So let's look at some of the features that apply to the buyer. Okay. So buyers like now without HFE. So right now the site is actually live already. Okay. So everybody can go in and see. All right. You can actually see. All right. You can do a search. All right. So some estates have more listings. Some estates very little listing. It's a trial period. But you can't do anything from the buyer side because they have not opened it up to the buyer. So in future, when they open it up to a buyer, without HFE letter, that means if you are a potential buyer or you're the buyer's agent, but your buyer has not done HFE, then you can only see, you cannot make an appointment. Okay, so that's the feature of this site. So system only allows the home buyers or the agent representing them to make viewing appointments, all right, if they have done their HFE letter.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so this is again a differentiating factor between HDB's portal and the current property portals, right? Okay, it filters out those without HFE letter. You can't make appointment. Want to view the house, you have to
get the letter first.
Get the letter first.
Yep.
So the purpose is to ensure that the buyer is ready.
Yes.
Okay, ready and to buy.
Ready to buy.
Yes. Okay, so all the listings put there from the buyer side, on this portal, all the listings put there have to have already done their intent to sell. So what it means to you, the home buyer, is that the seller is genuine. He's not like wasting time haven't done intend to sell or no intention to sell. So he has already registered his intent to sell with HDB, right? So he is genuine and eligible to sell. So there's also no fake and dummy listing because one property, one listing, okay, and no more fake listing. Okay, the buyer can compare between resale flat and BTO, right?
That's right.
Okay, and also you can access to home loan services through the portal later on. All right, you can apply for valuation, you can apply for loans through the portal. All right, it's part of the portal. And so the information on the portal is
It's all genuine.
it's all genuine,
So
right?
you have that confidence to transact as well.
Correct. So all the factual information that you see there is correct, because it's unless no, it won't happen. All right, because the source of the data is from HDB, right? So it's already factually correct. Okay, and you can actually, if you're a home buyer, you can check filters. You can set filters, right? Maybe there's certain very specific location or type of property they are looking for. You can set filters and set up an alert, right? So that when a listing that matches your criteria pops up, the system will inform you. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So some buyers have very specific. So for example, they only want to buy a certain block, right? They like this certain block or these few blocks, so they can actually set the criteria in the system, so that when a listing pops up in these few blocks, it will notify him. Yeah. All right. So some key points to note. All right. Some key points to note. Okay. Free, right? Is it free?
That's right.
Okay. So right now, don't need to pay.
So this is what you're seeing on the slides now is something that's provided by HDB.
Yes.
So we thought it would be helpful
Yes.
to pull out some of the number one these are the FAQs that we've been
the first
getting.
FAQ is must pay or not?
Yeah, that's right.
Don't need.
Key question.
Yeah, free. Okay, so how long, second question is, how long will my listing be allowed on the resale listing service? Okay, so if you are a seller, you can put it there as long as your intent to sell is valid.
Yep.
Right? It's valid. And once you grant the OTP, then that means you sold the house, right? So once the buyer puts in the valuation request, they will take it down. They will take down your listing. Okay? So this is what we talk about, the request. All right? So take down means deactivated.
That's right.
And once your transaction is completed, they will remove your listing. So you don't even have to go in and remove your listing. The system will take it out for you. All right? It's quite process driven.
That's right.
Process driven. Huh? Okay, so the other important thing for home sellers to take note of, especially those of you who are working with property agents, all right, you need to appoint your agent to be the managing salesperson. So this is a new terminology that HDB has introduced: managing salesperson and co-managing salesperson. So what is managing salesperson, Nicholas?
So the key difference between the two is that the managing salesperson is able to create and edit the listing details. For example, your listing price, your listing description, and to put up the images for the flat. So that's the key difference.
Yeah. Then the listing agent, the managing agent, can also activate and deactivate the listing, right?
That's right.
All right. Whereas the co-managing salesperson cannot. Right? Cannot. They can only schedule viewing.
As well as add listing.
Let description only. The factual information, the pricing is managed by your managing salesperson together with the seller.
That's right.
So that's why there's a difference. Okay, so sellers always have a very important person to you in the transaction process is your managing salesperson. All right. If you're using the agent, appoint him to be the managing salesperson. You work very closely with him, so he takes instructions and guidance from you in consultation. You walk the journey together to sell your flat. So this key person called the managing salesperson is extremely important in your transaction process. Okay. Can I appoint a salesperson after created listing? Okay, so like I said earlier, this was created for both DIY sellers as well as sellers who work with their agents. So of course you can.
That's right.
Can appoint, right? And you should appoint an agent.
As we will explain later.
As we will explain later. Okay, so these are HDB FAQ. So the first question that we always get, hey, I got this letter or this email from HDB. Is it compulsory to list on the portal?
Answer is no, it's not compulsory.
No, right?
No.
Okay. So, but you are encouraged to use this. If you look at the content of your letter, it's quite friendly. It tells you that you're invited to use the portal, all right, because they spend a lot of effort to create this portal.
Yes.
So it is helpful, all right. It is not mandatory. You can decide to list or not to list. So I would encourage everyone during this trial period, okay, what we call the soft launch period from 13 May onwards until the time they say official launch, which is scheduled to be end of the month. Try it out. Okay, try it out. Put it on the portal, see how it looks. This is what your buyer will be looking at when you put the advertisement up.
Yes.
Then you can work with your agent. Okay, adjust this, adjust that, adjust this, adjust that to,
make sure that your listing is absolutely ready.
Yes.
The
correct.
day it starts to the day the system is launched for the buyers.
For the buyer. All right. So right now you can put it up. You can activate it. You can deactivate it. You can change the details. You can add pictures. You can take down the not so nice picture. Put up nicer pictures. All right. You can do a lot of things, but work with your agent, your managing salesperson to do this. Okay, listing price. So there's also another feature in this system, right?
Yes. So a key feature of this system is also that sellers, you will be prompted if your listing price is at least 10% above the highest transacted price of similar units nearby. So I think this was done because, on one hand, we want to make sure that the listing prices are, in a sense, accurate of what the market values the property at. Of course, I mean, no property is the same. Some properties have a lot of renovation that's done already. Maybe you have a fantastic view, unblocked view of the entire estate. So it's not that it's compulsory to list below 10%.
So this is what some people ask. So what if I want to sell at more than 10% above the last transacted price? Because my house very nice one, right? I've done it up nicely. I'm very sure it will be worth more than 10% premium, right? So does that mean I cannot put it on the portal?
No.
Does the system stop me from listing if I want to put a price that is higher than 10%?
The system will not automatically stop you from listing.
But it will prompt you.
That's right.
Hey, your price too high, right?
It's just
your price is
make
above
you
10%.
think again whether or not is it the right price.
Okay, so it prompts you to think whether you want to, but it does not stop you. However, as we talk about this, the second point, all right, HDB has the right to remove your listing.
Yes, it's their system. So, and they have reserved the right to remove listings which have unrealistic pricing or contain misleading information on from the portal. So I think this is mainly to cover situations. I think you see sometimes, especially in today's society of hyping, right? You don't want a situation where everyone hypes up a price and then it's not good for the market.
Yes.
Where everyone says it's 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and then everyone says, oh, now I also want 4 million, and then no, you're never going to hit that kind of sweet spot. It's very difficult.
Yes.
And it's also being unrealistic. So I think it's
I believe
good for the market.
How they will manage this in the future, I'm just making a prediction. I mean that if you do list at above 10%, the system does not stop you. It will trigger something on HDB back end. Somebody will look at it, all right? An officer will probably call you or your agent to justify why you're listing at more than 10% above the highest transaction. Okay? So you have to justify your grounds. If you can justify, they'll allow it to continue. But if it's too high, it's not justifiable, HDB reserves the right to take down your listing. All right, to remove it, all right, from the portal. Okay, so this is again the main differentiating feature between HDB's portal and the property portals out there. Okay. Next, HDB portal is, if you look at it now, it's live already. You can go and see. It is actually very, what do we call that? Basic, no graphics, very regimental, government website. Okay, and also, if you do a search, the listing is there. But unlike the current portals, which is used by your property agents where they advertise, there's no way to boost viewership. So current property portals, your agent who is working very hard for you does spend financial resources, money to boost the listing, so that when people search for property, your advertisement, your listing on the property portal appears up first, and that costs money. All right, but HDB portal, there's no way to do this. Even though you may want to spend money to boost the listing, they don't. There's no way to boost. So it's just list and put it there. No active marketing can be done on the portal. All right, can be done on the portal. There's no active marketing. So just list and put there.
Yes, this is, I think, the biggest differentiator between HDB system and the commercial portals that we see out there.
So can you imagine, like in certain big housing estates, there could be hundreds of flats available for sale.
That's right.
Right? And there's no way to ensure that the listing goes on top. So it's like a waiting game to see whether, I mean, normally if you go by normal buyer search criteria, they'll search, then you see, even if let's say there's a list of 20 properties, right, that matches his criteria, he'll probably get tired after looking at the first 3 or 4.
That's right.
Yeah, he will not go through the whole list of 20. So there lies the problem with this portal. We cannot boost the viewership. So depends a lot on how hardworking the buyer or the buyer's agent is, where he's going to source through all the listing and make appointments.
That's right. Especially for like what you said, the large estates, which have just reached MOP.
Yes, not the MOP. MOP maybe not so many units yet. It's the large estates that have a lot of transaction on.
Yes.
Right. So for example, Jurong, Sengkang, Woodlands, Mas, all these areas, they are very large estates. Traditionally, every month after month, they are highest volume transaction. So they would have normally a lot of properties for sale. So, you have to scroll through quite a lot to see. So there's a game of chance that your potential buyer may not see your listing.
That's right, and that's why we advocate, sellers as well as the agents listing on different platforms.
Yes, so HDB platform is one. It shouldn't be your only one. All right, they should continue to use existing property portals that enable you to be able to push up the advertisement.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, then a lot of online comments this week. So with HDB portal, we will see a lot more DIY sellers. That means sellers who want to do it themselves, right? So what? Yes, you can do it yourself. The system is designed for DIY sellers too. They will not stop you if you want to sell your house yourself, but there are obvious challenges. What are some of the challenges if you want to do it yourself?
I think the first challenge is, of course, the seller needs to be tech savvy enough to be able to use the platform. Right? That's the first thing that he has.
You have to be comfortable with tech.
That's right.
Using listing the property yourself
and managing the listing.
And managing it, listing it very easy. You just key in only, and HDB will key in the other half, right? All the data.
That's right.
All the factual information. You just need to key in your certain things and the description of your property and all that. It's easy to key in, but you have to manage the listing.
That's right.
That means you have to fix appointment slot. All right. You have to plan ahead. You have to.
You probably also have to stage your property.
The buyer, qualified buyer, can contact you and talk to you. on the portal. You have to handle all the inquiries
That's right.
yourself. All
And
right?
sometimes when, it being a first, many sellers are first-time sellers,
Yes.
or maybe second-time sellers. You don't have the experience of how to handle buyers and the
Yes.
queries. And so even when you're answering queries, you're worried, did I say the right thing or not?
Yes, that's one thing. Secondly, buyers don't wait for you.
Yes.
So if they send you a query and you take very long to respond, or you forget to respond, you will have lost your potential buyer. He will have gone off to another listing, which is more responsive,
That's right.
right? Okay, so the challenge is there.
Yes.
All right, and HDB processes is extremely complicated, right? And these steps have to be followed step by step in chronological order. What if I miss a step? What will happen? The whole transaction can get jammed, right?
That's right.
Right, because one step is missing.
That's right.
And so when you put yourself in the perspective of a buyer, the buyer wants a hassle-free transaction process. He doesn't want to be jammed. But if you miss one step in either your documentation or your transaction or the things that you need to do step by step before you can get to the next step, the whole transaction is thrown out by HDB. They will not process it. And can you imagine after you found your buyer, the transaction cannot go through? He's not going to wait for you, right? He will drop your case.
That's right.
He will back out the deal.
Actually, this I think is the biggest risk that sellers have to know.
Yes.
Okay. There are many rules that you have to comply with when you're selling your HDB flat. Okay, I think that's clear.
Yes.
And the difficult, and many buyers, whenever they come into the market, when they want to buy something, they actually probably have sold their own properties as well.
Yes.
So they are looking at a very tight timeline. So this is something that if I were a buyer, I'll be thinking to myself, I cannot afford to have any sort of mishaps in terms of the timeline, because if there's a mishap with the timeline for the property that I'm buying, it's going to affect the property that I'm selling. And then after that, I'm going to be out of pocket for damages.
Correct.
So that's something that I think buyers have to be, normally buyers are very careful about this.
Yes, okay. Okay, next. What about the emergence of low fee and fixed fee agents? I mean, they are already in existence in today's market, right?
That's right.
Right, so they'll say, hey, let us manage your listing for you, right? After all, we charge you a low fixed fee. Then you save the hassle of handling it yourself, pay us a low fixed fee. So what's the disadvantage of this?
Well, I think this portal is something that will make agents who are charging a low fixed fee, they'll be very happy, right? It's listings free.
Yeah.
And then and because from the outset, they don't have as much resources to pump into the property as well, into marketing the property. So they definitely have lesser resources for marketing the property. And if they can save on marketing on the paid commercial platforms, they are more likely to do so.
Yeah, so these agents typically have very little resources because their fee is low.
That's right.
So they need
it's
to churn.
The commercial reality.
They need to churn, right? So their commitment is I just churn, right? I'm not focused on getting the highest price for you.
That's right.
Right. So they just want to churn and move on. All right. So there's a questionable. While fee is low, commitment level it remains a challenge. Okay. So we look at a full service agent, trusted advisor, ERA, for example. Okay. We have been in the business for 42 years in Singapore, right? Over 40 years. And we are trusted by generation. Why we say trusted by generation? I think we have been in business for so long, we actually serve generations of home buyers.
That's right.
Home buyers and home sellers, right? Grandfather, father, now the grandchild is already of home buying age.
All served by ERA.
Yes, all served by ERA. We are serving the third generation.
That's right.
Right, so it's indeed trusted by generations. Okay, so we use technology. Okay, Sales Plus, all right. Sales Plus is driven by technology as well as AI, artificial intelligence, right? So later I'll run through some of what you can see on Sales Plus. So all our agents have Sales Plus, right? In the app, and this is the most dynamic and possibly the best app in the industry today. Okay, we take care of asset progression planning. What is asset progression?
I think asset progression plans, this is something that is very, very widely used by...
So the agent is not just transactional, right?
That's
I'm
right.
not there to just buy, sell, and then move on.
Yes.
I take care of your journey. You sell already, what's the next step of your real estate journey, right? What should you be buying? How much should you pay for? And what type of property, right? Asset
Yes,
progression.
that's right. Because let's face it, I think in Singapore, assets,
Yeah.
our biggest assets are for most people.
So the app that we use allows our agent, okay, we have this thing called financial whiz in the app that helps you to map out, all right, your asset progression journey, right?
Yes.
After you sell your property, what happened? So we also in the app we can have all these market analysis. You can see the data 1 year back, 2 year back, 5 year back.
That's right.
Right, the trend. So you know at which point of the market you are now. We can customize the analysis to what you want to analyze and what the critical point. So we just don't chuck data at you. The app is able to allow us to customize to your needs.
That's
what you
right.
need, the information that you need to make an informed decision about selling your house.
That's right. And also buying your next house.
Correct. Okay, so the agent, we also invest in creative marketing strategies. How do we ensure and able to drive the most traffic through your house, right? The bigger the exposure, the more buyers flow through, the better your chance of getting a higher price for your property. Okay, timeline management is extremely important. You want to explain this timeline?
So timeline management is absolutely critical.
Yes.
When you're buying and selling, I mean, all these timelines are all contractual.
Yes.
Right. And if you miss the timelines, there will be damages that are due to the other party.
Yes.
And you really don't want to be the victim of you don't want to be a victim of a late interest payments.
Yes. So let's put it in perspective. Your buyer who buys your house is not going to wait for you. He has a tight timeline.
That's right.
You sell your house, you have to be able to move on to your next property at certain time, right? Because you're already committed and you want to time it nicely so that you have minimum disruption.
That's right.
Okay, so again, a professional agent with the right tools, okay, and our Sales Plus app has this timeline management tool that will help you to be able to see on an overview the various critical points in the property journey that you need to be very clear about so that you don't be late, right? You're not late, and because what will happen if you're not able to meet the timeline, then you get yourself into problem, right? You can be late interest, or you can even, in the worst case scenario, get sued, right?
That's right.
Get sued. Okay, so other things like the agent will do for you, maximize exposure, financial evaluation, all the calculations can be done through the app.
That's
okay.
Right.
So let me just show you a few screenshots from the sales platform. So you talk to any ERA agent, or we call them trusted advisors. Okay, they will use usually a tablet, okay, with the Sales Plus app. So this is what the Sales Plus look at. Okay. All right, so we have, to take care of financial calculations, we have the financial whiz, or the HDB Resale whiz. Since we're dealing with HDB flat, we have a module that is customized to HDB Resale, buying as well as selling. All right? Okay, so under the resale list, you can choose, okay, this is what it looks like. All right, so you can do calculations. You can do calculations, right? Calculate your sales proceeds. You can look at your next housing plans. You can key in all these things, all right? And then you can also look at all the payments that you need to make in your property sale and purchase. Okay, you can enter your purchase details, potential expenses when you buy your new home, the one that you shortlisted. Okay, and then they will do a summary, sell how much you get, buy how much you need to commit. All right, they will calculate for you. All right, and all the numbers here is shown, and the agent can go through the numbers with you and actually send this calculation to you. All right, so that you are very clear about your financial. Then the other one that I was talking about, very critical, is the timeline. The sales timeline. You can key in the dates, okay, and then the timeline map. All right, overview is shown from start to finish, all the different time points that you won't miss, that you can see it at one go, and you will not be caught in a situation where you're causing a delay due to unforeseen circumstances. So you can actually plan well ahead and adjust. By adjusting the front end, the back end will adjust itself. So you'll be very clear when you sell, what the dates of, what dates to put on the contract, so that it matches your timeline clearly. So all these can be mapped out by working closely with your ERA trusted advisor who has access to this app. Right?
That's right. So I think gone are the days where the agent will come with a calculator and a piece of paper.
If your agent is still doing that, take a piece of paper and write down everything for you. Wrong agent to use. All right, you have to talk to someone with this tool, and this tool can actually help you. All right, map out your journey. Bear in mind, everything we key in here can be customized to your need, and we can send this plan to you. All right, after we've sat down with you and gone through it. Okay, so in short, while you can do it yourself, it is actually a lot better and more productive, less wastage of time, clearer transition from start to finish, and asset progression and all that. All these can be handled by working together with a trusted agent, and no other better person than an ERA trusted advisor.
That's
all right. And always, once you appoint your ERA trusted advisor as the exclusive marketing agent, you sign a CEA, a prescribed estate agency agreement, which is a standard form prescribed by our government, the CEA. Okay, and also appoint the salesperson to be your managing salesperson for the HDB Resale Flat Listing service, so that he manages your advertisement online, on the portal, as well as in other portal, other property portals.
That's right. I think that's something that's important to remember as well. I think ERA is the first agency that's really been pushing the training, and we've been training our agents on how to use this product, because we know how important it is for all of our clients to get access to salespersons who are able to do the job well for them.
So with that, we have come to the end of our Realty Talk segment today. We hope that we have clarified what is this HDB Resale Flat Listing Services, and give you a better idea of how this this new platform introduced by HDB can supplement the existing marketing efforts of your appointed agent. And always work with an exclusive agent, because that is in your best interest, to work closely with one agent who controls the entire flow for you. Work closely with him. It is actually a lot more productive than having too many agents work on the listing. So with that, a very good night to everyone, and have a good week ahead.
And we wish you the best in your properties journey. Thank you.
Thank you.